With the endless potential that Mahoraga can show on the battlefield, we just can't help but imagine how he would do against other strong opponents that he wasn't able to fight. There are a lot of opponents to choose from, but have you ever wondered who would win in a fight between Mahito and Mahoraga? Well, for this to work, we need to make Mahito and Megumi fight. So in this scenario, Mahito would be the one to find an injured Megumi instead of Haruta in the Shibuya district arc. It looked like Megumi was about to die, so he had no choice but to finally summon Mahoraga, with the thought that if he was going to die, he might as well bring his opponent with him. Now, the power difference between Mahito and Haruta is so obvious that if Mahito replaced Haruta, Megumi would have a significantly harder time than he did with Haruta. So the scenario begins with Megumi just finishing his battle with Toji. As Megumi is walking to safety, Mahito appears behind Megumi and attacks him. Megumi is badly injured, but he's able to fight back. But no matter how hard Megumi tries, Mahito just overpowers him, especially since Megumi is in a bad shape. It is at this point that Megumi attempts to summon Mahoraga because he feels like he is gonna lose to Mahito. At first, Mahito isn't familiar with what Megumi is about to summon, but by the time he realizes it, it's too late, and Mahoraga is already summoned. Megumi locked Mahito into basically a deathmatch through an exorcism ritual where Mahoraga fights the sorcerers that summon him until the sorcerers are dead, or until Mahoraga is exorcised. Megumi bids farewell to Mahito just like he did to Haruta in the original story, as he gets thrown to the side by Mahoraga and is now rendered unconscious. Now it's just Mahito and Mahoraga on the battlefield. So where's Sukuna? Well, for Mahoraga and Mahito to have a proper fight, let's say Sukuna is busy somewhere else. Or is he? Anyway, Mahito realizes that Mahoraga is no joke and plans to go all out, acknowledging this is a challenge to his skills. Mahito wastes zero time and attacks Mahoraga with his Idol Transfiguration curse technique, but as far as Mahoraga's adaptation is concerned, it leaves little to no damage to Mahoraga. Mahito keeps on trying to attack Mahoraga, but the more he tries, the more he realizes that Mahoraga has completely adapted to his curse technique. It's Mahoraga's time to attack, and it uses the sword attached to its forearm, which is known as the Sword of Extermination. It is enveloped in positive energy, making it especially effective against cursed spirits. However, Mahito is no pushover as he showcases his incredible speed while he dodges the attacks from Mahoraga. It's at this point that Mahito realizes that he's at a disadvantage when he's fighting Mahoraga. He can keep up with Mahoraga's attacks, but can't seem to land a solid hit that can finally defeat this monster of a Shikigami. Mahito manages to create some space for Mahoraga and decides that he needs to use his domain expansion to have a fighting chance against the Shikigami. With his domain expansion, self-embodiment to perfection, Mahito unleashes a barrage of guaranteed hits on Mahoraga, with a large grin on his face thinking that he's gotten Mahoraga beat. But Mahoraga's adaptation still works wonders, as it adapts to the domain expansion and breaks it. Mahoraga tends to finish off Mahito with the Sword of Extermination, and with no ideas left to counter Mahoraga, Mahito starts to lose hope in winning and starts to get desperate. That's when he uses Instant Spirit Body of Distorted Killing. He finds the true essence of his soul, which enhances every little aspect within him, from his physical abilities to the potency of his curse technique. However, Mahoraga is showing no signs of stopping its attack. In the end, Mahito can't handle the overpowering strength of Mahoraga, even with his new form, because Mahoraga just adapts, and Mahito doesn't have firepower like Sukuna to defeat Mahoraga in one hit. As Mahoraga is about to kill Mahito for good, Sukuna arrives to save Mahito. After this, the story would then progress as it did in the original story. Sukuna would arrive to fight Mahoraga and save Megumi and Mahito from being killed, so that the exorcism wouldn't be finished. Sukuna and Mahoraga would then fight, resulting in Mahoraga being defeated by Sukuna. The fight between Mahoraga and Sukuna would go exactly the way it did in the original story, since changing Mahito from Haruta still wouldn't change the outcome of this fight. After the battle, Mahito would still be alive, but not for long, because Sukuna had set his sights on Mahito the moment he touched his soul back in Season 1. Mahito would be killed by Sukuna for good. Even if he was in somewhat good condition, he still couldn't stand a chance against Sukuna, ending this cursed spirit's reign of terror. But hold up! Did you notice there were some secrets or facts you missed? Well, you're in luck. Click on this video to see secrets or facts you've missed in Jujutsu Kaisen. Click it!